This time on Road and Race, I find out what condition my M3 is in by having a detailed look through its service history. In the previous episodes, I showed my research into finding a good second-hand M3, going to buy it, and then my initial thoughts giving it a quick blast around the track. In this show, I'll be going through the car's service history, so that I know what has been done and when, so I'll be able to decide what, if anything, needs doing. So first up, I like to go through the car's service history to try and determine the actual state of the car. I start with the BMW service book. It's pretty basic, but we'll tell you how often the engine oil was changed, as well as spark plugs and the air filters. So summarising this down, you can see the engine oil was changed every 12 to 15,000 miles or so. BMW don't publish a recommended oil change interval. Instead, they use something called condition-based servicing. This is how they describe it. The Intelligent Maintenance System CBS permanently monitors oil levels and the degree of wear and tear on individual components. It analyzes this data and tells you when a service is next due. So the car just knows when the oil is bad, but me being me, I need to know more information. After a bit of digging around, I did find a BMW technical document that went into more detail. The changed electrical material properties of the engine oil changes the capacitance of the capacitor. So, as I understand it, a capacitor in the engine measures the electrical conductivity of the oil and from this can determine wear. Saying that, I've always done all my own oil changes. It's a relatively cheap and quick thing to do, so I'll probably just stick to my habit and change the oil every 6,000 miles. Could be overkill, but it gives me peace of mind. Also, will probably help with one of the common faults I discovered when doing my research, which is the potential excessive wear on the rod bearings. Whilst talking about the CBS, there is a sensor to check when the cabin filter needs changing and sensors to check when the brake pads are low. In my previous BMW, I had a rear brake pad wear down to metal and the CBS system didn't even realise, so I still check my brake pads manually. You can do a quick check without even taking the wheels off. I've done a video on this in the past. The onboard computer will tell you when your brake fluid and spark plugs need changing, but there's no sensors that measure this. It just uses time. I'm guessing 2 years and 3 years respectively. So back to the remaining items. The cabin filter, air filter and spark plugs were changed about 4 months and 7,000 miles ago, so they are currently fine. Moving on, we've got the last 3 years worth of receipts to go through. The previous owner was quite fastidious, so they're all in chronological order already, ready for me to go through. So here's the Excel sheet I made after going through it all, and here it is summarised so it's easier to read. BMW state the differential and transmission oils should be changed every third oil change, so at about 45,000 miles. They were both changed at 55,000 miles, so are fine for now. The suspension control unit, the traction control pump and the battery were all replaced within the last year as well. Also, the driver's side seatbelt handover arm, so that's what they call it, that was replaced recently too. 2 of the 8 ignition coils had also been replaced, coil 5 at 41,000 miles and coil 6 at 70,000 miles. Also, the front discs were replaced 7,000 miles ago. Lastly, on to one of the common faults I researched in part 3 of this series, the throttle actuators. The driver's side actuator has been replaced at 41,000 miles. There's no paperwork to do with the other actuator, although speaking to the previous owner, he said it must have been done, but there's no paperwork to say it has. So this brings us on to my plan of action. As I've no idea when the power steering fluid, coolant, and both engine belts were changed, I'll do them first. Then, as it's been about 7,000 miles, I'll do an oil and filter change. I'll send the sample of the oil off to an oil lab for some analysis, just to see if there are any rod bearing issues creeping up. As far as I can tell, the fuel filter is integrated into the fuel level sender, so it requires draining the tank to replace. Also, BMW rate this as a lifetime part, so I'll need to do some more research to see if this actually needs changing. As for the ignition coils, obviously it's best to be proactive and replace them all now, but they are £50 each, and even if I just replace 6 out of the 8, it'll be over £300. I think what I'll do is I'll do some more research, see when people advise them being changed, and if one does fail, I'll just replace them all. So that leaves me with the throttle actuators. It's £470 to have both rebuilt with harder wearing parts, so I think I'll wait and when the next one fails, have both rebuilt. Lastly, I'll do a full braking system check over. I'll look at the master cylinder, the brake booster for any rust and leaks. I'll also inspect all the hard lines for any damage or rust or wear as well. I'll also change the brake fluid as well, and as the car's about 10 years old, I'll change the brake hoses just to be safe. And lastly, as I'll be tracking the car, I'll put in some kind of race spec pads as well. So now that I have a plan of things to do, I'll order the parts I need. Whilst I wait for those to arrive, it's time to get on with something that's a must for me when I get a new car. So join me next time when I give my M3 a thorough clean inside and out. If you found this video useful, please subscribe and hit the like button as it really helps us make more shows. Please feel free to get in touch by leaving a comment on this video and I reply to everyone. Links to follow us on social media are in the description box. Thanks for watching.